Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm treating myself to a change of pace. We're going to be reading a character anecdote from Reverse 1999, because these are pretty self-contained for the most part. You don't really need much, if any, knowledge of the main story. For those unfamiliar, here's some basic knowledge so you're not completely lost if you decide to watch this video. This game involves traveling across different time periods, and also a bunch of different countries. There's humans and then there's arcanists, and whether they get along kind of depends on the time and place. In some cases, people are chill with arcanists, and in others, they're pretty heavily discriminated against. And then there's the villain group Manus Vindictae, which are extremist arcanists trying to wipe out humanity. So that's the basic premise. And anecdotes are little stories focused on a specific character, typically ones that were never part of an event or focused on in the main story. The one we're reading today focuses on our probably traumatized goth daughter. Not the horse one. This here is Necrologist, and she's been a good unit for me since the beginning. She's a mineral type, and I really struggled building a mineral team in the beginning. She was a big help, because both of her skills do damage, and her ultimate provides a buff to party members that revives them if they die, and until then it provides a damage buff. And I'm excited to learn more about her story, because I know basically nothing. Like, the only hint I ever got was from this line.
Hello. Welcome to the Tombstone Museum. My apologies. I'm losing it a little from all that I've had to do.
So I'm very curious if this is going to shed some more light on what she does. So the thing about the anecdote stories, they sometimes show what the character was doing before meeting the main character. It could be the story of how they meet the main character, or how they interact with the other people in the main character's team. There's really no telling what it's going to be about until we start. So let's get started. And for the Reverse 1999 fans, this isn't just going to be a reading, it's also going to be me reacting to stuff, like in my Let's Plays, and joking around just a little bit. Considering what the content of this game is usually like, I don't imagine I'll be joking around too much. I might have chosen a bad anecdote to start with because they actually changed up the formula for this one. Because normally it's not whatever this is. I have no idea what's going on here. Normally you just click on a thing and read the story. This seems a bit more interactive. She Who Hears the Dead. Liechtenstein, the Tombstone Museum entrance. Hey, Fleck family, package for you. A hurried young man shouts from in front of the building. He glances at the door plate, Fleck Tombstone Museum. Before anyone can answer, he drops a heavy black sack at the doorstep and bolts as if fleeing death itself. Tap the underlined words to view additional information. Oh boy. Oh boy. I really should have done this with the previous one. It was really good. Okay, a museum for tombstones situated in a country with no allegiances. The Principality of Liechtenstein, along a country road a few kilometers from... I'm sorry about how I'm going to pronounce these names. Vaduz. Scenic, quiet, sparsely populated. The Rhine wind sweeps across the lawn, across the old stone castle. Letters on the doorplate glint in the afternoon sun. Fleck Tombstone Museum, Heirloom Trust, Obituaries, Tombstone Communion. The unfinished wishes of the deceased are handled here. More than enough reason to give the place a wide berth. The locals call it the House of Spirits, a name with a mystical and chilling aura. What about the sack? This is the 13th package in the last 3 months. This package is as heavy as all the others and just as strange. It's made even stranger by the faint sounds coming from within. Oh, right, I should probably mention, this game can be pretty gruesome at times, so proceed with caution if you're unfamiliar. At times they seem almost as if they were a voice. Passerby find themselves staring at the package with concern, but the girl who comes to collect it seems to hear nothing. Or maybe she's too used to hearing it. Drag the package and place it at the entrance of the Tombstone Museum. Here? Oops. There we go. Okay, Necrologist. A new commission. The heavy silent doors creak open as the mistress of the museum lifts the sack. From across the distant strait. I hope this doesn't become the new standard. I kinda like how it was before. The broken stone stirs within, shaking off the flux and dust gathered from his journey. A new tombstone, one ready to join the museum's ever-growing collection. Ooh. Inside the Tombstone Museum, necrologists are known for their ability to let families hear the last words of their departed. Use an arcane skill to awaken the tombstone. Ooh, when an arcane skill incantation appears, tap to trigger it. Or click. The slumbering tombstone is awakened, and the voice that dwells within it can at last be heard. Friend, we have more important things to do. First, turn on the lights. I don't like to be in the dark. It brings up terrible memories. Those nights were filled with roars, but now the silence is more deafening. Wipe the dust off the package. The stone shard sent to the Tombstone Museum is but a small fragment of the monument that it came from, yet the shard bears the name of its owner, Mueller. Mr. Mueller, are you well? The tombstone trembles rhythmically. Perhaps it's a nod? Kind lady, may I ask, where is this? This is the Fleck Tombstone Museum, sir, though many also know it as the House of Spirits. People come here bearing the fragments of restless souls, hoping that we might help find them peace. The room is quiet, yet crowded. It's attended by tombstones in every nook and corner, some polished white, some mossy and gray, others so old and worn that their markings have faded, erased by time. Erased by time is something that happens a lot in this game. My apologies. The Tombstone Museum. What exactly is this place? You've traveled far to reach this place. This is Liechtenstein. The tombstone falls into long silence. Bad news, without question. And for a tombstone that has already known death, it bore more than enough bad news for one lifetime. Damn it! Where on earth did those brats bury me? I've been banished to this forsaken place while they returned home in glory. They betrayed me? Betrayal! Blatant betrayal! The tombstone shakes violently, its anger clear. The music, kind of lighthearted though. Please calm yourself, Mr. Mueller. Too much trembling will worsen your cracks. That will make it harder for you to rest. The mistress of the museum knows well how to handle such things. In fact, the regret you fear may not be beyond repair. What, you plan to go rough them up for me, Miss Stranger? She could. 2 of her 2 skills are attack skills. And to be honest, it's not unusual for the nice, quiet person to be able to throw hands in this game. Of course not, she coughs gently. Hatred leads away from peace. It cannot soothe the dead. We can find a better way. You can trust me. At the very least, trust the other 31 tombstones that rest patiently here. They were once like you, burdened with regrets that could never be resolved. But they have found peace. Necrologist's softened voice calms the reactions within the sack. That's kind of a funny line out of context. Very well, you can pick me up now. Place me in the glass case you're holding. Oh, wait a minute, is that the one she's always carrying with her? The tombstone doesn't forget to add, but only for now. Lift Mueller's tombstone. Beneath Mueller's tombstone, Necrologist spots another broken stone. This tombstone drips with collected moisture. It is weathered, ruined, and steeped in sorrow. Is this another part of you? You've become terribly hurt, haven't you? Enema appears. A weaker, more timid voice finally speaks. No, I'm not part of that loud fellow. Beads of water drip from the stone, like unceasing tears. This wouldn't happen to be poltergeist. Oh no. Sir, you are... I'm not him. My name is Smith. To be continued. Stories you've already viewed can be revisited in the review section. Please continue watching the story. Okay, hang on. These usually have 8 parts. Oh, this is more like the screen I'm familiar with. His last wish. Whatever age the storm may hurl her museum into, the commissions never stop coming. Oh yeah, there's the storm that reverses the world, and only some places are safe. If you're caught in the storm, you're kind of lost to time. You know, maybe that's where the people on the train in Kamen Rider Den-O come from. Because that's like where the people who are lost to time go, until they can eventually be returned to their own time. A commission letter arrives with the 2 strange tombstones. Commission letter, it began with a stone collector. His restless tombstones whispered day and night. Unable to bear it, he wrote this heartfelt letter. Dear Miss Necrologist, word of your museum has spread through the world of Arcanum. They say you can hear the voices bound to tombstones. I hope you can listen to their final words and grant them peace. If you require any help, please do not hesitate to say so. The letter shows many corrections, clearly written in a hurry. Evidently, its writer was exhausted after days of frightening visions. 2 strange tombstones, one a trembling monument bearing the name Mueller, the other a weeping stone called Smith. There's no clue where these stones were gathered from. In this age, death comes easily no matter where you go. No clues on what time period we're in right now. Necrologist, entrusted with managing the belongings of the dead, does not deal in worldly gold or silver. She tends to other rarer things. A lonely ghost that refuses to rest, or a chatty storybook in an attic. It is those things that she gives new value. For now, the task is to understand what these 2 gentlemen of stone desire. I'm curious about Smith. The memories of the dead are often incoherent, but speaking with Smith is especially difficult. So you remember only seeing a monster in some harbor? Yes, it was huge and gray. A silent sea beast, he trembles timidly, circling the endless blue. Take notes. Necrologist carefully writes down Smith's description. Ah, that explains why the tombstone was wet. A massive gray silent creature. Was it a Kikituk? An aquatic... I've never seen that word. Kikirin, or perhaps a tatzelworm? Do you remember anything else? Its outline, its color maybe? Sorry, I don't remember anything. I just feel like it's so familiar, like we've been together for a very, very long time. It seems drawn to Arcanus. The range narrows further. More research will be needed later to confirm. Do you remember anywhere besides the harbor? The dark stone shrinks into a corner. Like a grape long steeped in seawater, it falls silent. Possible encounter with some kind of mystical coastal beast. Memory disorder, strong emotional swings. Woo, woo. Is that supposed to be sobbing? More water seeps from Smith's tombstone. I guess it might be. Don't worry, Mr. Smith. It's over now. It's not here and it can't hurt you again. Hurt me? No, that's not it, he mutters. There was red light everywhere, and noise. It was wailing. So it was actually your friend? I don't know. Emotions unstable, likely post-traumatic stress, possibly developing into silent soul syndrome, she concludes. Quite dangerous. Silent soul syndrome, a condition easily contracted by ghosts, where dreadful emotions spread like disease, usually tied to the manner of death. Sounds like Dandadan, because like in that show, the spirits eventually become unstable. Mueller has waited quietly, but his patience wears thin. Finally, he launches into a bold interjection. You're too nervous, Miss Necrologist. The once agitated stone has steadied again. From my experience with these jelly-backed Tommies, it's nothing unusual. They're lost in the sunset of their fading empire. Seeing monsters in the waves is really a minor symptom. There is but one solution for these rabid English dogs, a swift bullet. Oh boy. It's only on the battlefield that they can finally see the world for what it truly is. Forgive me, I don't quite understand. I don't believe war can help you or Mr. Smith. This might be building off the last main story event. News comes slowly in a tiny place like Liechtenstein, but the effects of this drawn-out war have made their impact. It is. Time passes and Necrologist receives yet more tombstones. Most are broken, their souls scarred, steeped in blood and smoke. Please, Miss Necrologist, don't compare me with that pitiful fellow. Look at him. He's nothing but a delirious, weeping failure. I was only thinking. The silent sea monster, it was gray. Beautiful. I must insist that you return me to my home so that I might be laid to rest in honor. He interrupts Smith with a tone of certainty and pride. The weeping spirit falls silent against the words. Necrologist immediately surmises the best path forward. If she wishes to bring peace to this fallen soldier, she must go to Mueller's homeland. As you wish, Mr. Mueller. Due to your decision, you've grown more confused. Different choices may lead to different outcomes. We are only looking at one for this video. These are gonna take a while, and the ending may shift in ways both subtle and profound. To be continued. Necrologist will head to the train station and take transport to Mueller's hometown. Select a destination to travel to. Different destinations consume different amounts of time. The current time is shown here. Time advances as you move. Please arrive at your destination right on time. Okay, it won't show the travel time until we're adjacent to it. So, forest and... Miss Necrologist, can't we walk any faster? I'd like to get back to Berlin right this instant. The cobblestones on Leipzig Street are all different colors. You could spend a whole afternoon just studying them. Much more interesting than what they've got here. It's just trees, trees, and more trees. Oh. Okay, now I know which one's which. This one's covered in water. Wait, under that tree over there, is that a critter? Looks like it's asleep. Eyes half shut and head drooping like that. Reminds me of my younger days. Back then, I'd often find a few forgotten pieces of dry bread scattered around that big gray sea monster. Soon enough, a critter would creep over, curl up, and nibble at the crumbs. Look at those iron boxes. Cars, aren't they? Much faster than trams, I must say. And just look at the smoke puffing out the back. Miss, do you think these things will also one day scurry around the streets, like those little black ones? Even the best fortune tellers can't predict the future with precision. And those little black ones you mentioned, surely you don't mean those pests. Select your destination. We're going to Berlin, right? Oh, hang on, I don't know German. Sehr gut. You have my thanks, Mr. Necrologist. Present ticket. Okay, we're in Berlin now. His belief. A cold stillness hangs over the land. Cars stream along the streets of Berlin, a few pedestrians hurrying past. I finally returned. I'm finally back. I once knew every inch of this place. Every shop, every breath of air. Now, all that keeps him company is a broken tombstone and endless solitude. Did you know? Berlin shaped every one of us. Mr. Mueller, this doesn't look anything like the origin of the hero you spoke of. She scans her surroundings. Of course, heroes have never stayed here long. We always march on, forward, until at last we return to receive the medals and praise we deserve. As Mueller finishes his speech, the long silent stone in the box finally finds its voice. I can smell it. He shudders with unease. Fresh wet drops fall. Mr. Smith's condition has only worsened since arriving in Berlin. Mr. Smith, how thoughtless of me. Perhaps it is best we return. No, Mr. Necrologist, you mustn't leave. This is the heart of Berlin, the very source of our nation's pride. Please, won't you take us for a walk around Berlin? Just to take in the atmosphere of her streets. Perhaps it might even cure Mr. Crybaby's woes. Don't change course just for the sake of this half-delirious wreck. We should leave. In his condition, Mr. Smith is unable to endure this sort of stimulation. It's best to leave now. My apologies, Mr. Mueller. We can't stay any longer. The process of fulfilling the wishes of the dead requires a gradual process. Sometimes strong shocks can backfire. If you must insist, Miss Necrologist, but know that I will not rest peacefully until we return. A silence falls not only from Necrologist's decision, but also in the streets surrounding them. After some inspection, Mueller begins to notice that the streets are not as he remembered them. They are far bleaker. Harbor. Gunpowder. Smith mutters the broken words again and again, shivering against the glass like a startled deer. Mr. Smith, you caught the scent of that creature? Gunpowder. You mean you can smell the smoke? He presses incredulously, shaking off flecks of grit with something like envy. It seems every tombstone holds a lingering ghost with its own peculiar traces. Ghost-bounded tombstones are rarely whole. They are fragmented, stripped of memory. The obsessions left behind are all that keep them tethered. Only an atmosphere this thick can force strong soldiers. Of course, the weak-willed may not stand for it. Smith doesn't respond to Mueller's words, but his tone trembles silently. In fact, Mr. Smith, you really ought to learn to be a proper soldier. You might not have even been a soldier. Right here, just like us, we followed orders. Bled for the Great War, brothers to the end. Berlin will give you faith, or at least cure you of this nonsensical aversion to smoke. Mr. Mueller, not everyone is meant to be a soldier, and not everyone wants to be. The proud stone threatens to ramble on. Necrologist cuts him off cleanly. It is time for us to leave. Thanks to your decision, you've grown more determined. Where to now? Please reach train station right at 1826. Inside car, the whistle. Necrologist and her 2 tombstone companions head toward Mueller's second destination, a city far to the east. Are you alright? Smith tentatively nudges the other stone. Ever since leaving home, and even now on the truck to St. Petersburg, he speaks far less than before. What's this? Pitying me? Mueller snaps back with a gesture of comfort. This diversion is only temporary. When I finally figure out what is going on, I will return to rest in my homeland. Or did you think all of that was enough to shake a soldier's iron will? And you, Mr. Smith, are you ready to face the outside world? No, He falls silent. Real soldiers are already marching towards St. Petersburg. Miss Necrologist, you said it's 1920? Then most likely they've already reached it. Mr. Mueller, perhaps St. Petersburg won't hold the answers you expect. I hope you're prepared. Necrologist looks out the window. The storm of war has ravaged the land. Ruins and scars cover every town and village they pass. The suffering etched on faces is not hers alone to witness. For final victory, sacrifice is necessary. Once we triumph, we'll return to the proper path, to the heart of a better Europe. We'll have warm rye bread on Red Square, fresh caviar, and of course, vodka. Those things sound pleasant, but the price seems far too high. No, Miss Necrologist. When you reach St. Petersburg, you'll see. You'll change your mind. The sound of a passing train interrupts them. On the far tracks, a steam engine howls as it passes, drowning every voice, reverberating between stone and skull. Smith suddenly stirs with agitation, but it's clear the reason has nothing to do with Mueller's grand vision. Ah, the monster. The monster's scent. It's getting stronger. I remember now. That sound. That was it. A massive, gray beast. The sound always accompanied it. These whistles come from trains, factories, ships, and for your harbor, Mr. Smith. So the great gray monster wasn't some arcane creature after all, but a ship. The other stone interrupts. Ha! That makes it simple. Let me guess. A harbor, a ship, ignorance of the outside world, confidential work perhaps? You must be an English sailor too cowardly to face the truth. Please stop, Mr. Mueller. London or St. Petersburg, our end is the same. Mr. Smith will see that soon enough. Perhaps putting these two in the same box was a mistake from the start, no kidding. A blaring horn halts their quarrel, followed by the screech of brakes. St. Petersburg, we're here. Oh wow, get there right at 1826. And we're starting at an awkward time. I can go straight to residential area in 30 minutes. Okay, let's stop at the tailor shop on the street. We can just do this through trial and error. Sir, look at this beauty. A Singer's sewing machine, as efficient as 100 skilled hands. Let me tell you, before long, everything from ladies' handkerchiefs to gentlemen's bow ties will be made using this here machine. But I'd say Berliners care more about the warmth in their fingertips than cold machines. Hand-sewn linings, tailored suits, handmade to measure. No product made by some clattering gears can match that. The fine tailor shops, the pride of Berlin, have already vanished. It seems our cherished craftsmanship is next to be replaced. The world is like a camera loaded with fresh film. The scenery's the same, but the colors have changed. Let's reset and go to the cafe. Ugh, times really have changed. Just look at those boys scribbling away in the cafes. They all have shiny gold-plated pens. When I was their age, a single birch dip pen lasted me 10 years. Mr. Mueller, that's a Mont Blanc fountain pen. The most popular writing implement on the market. Ultimately, it isn't the form that matters, but what message the ink from the nib carries. Ink. Those blue-black blots. Ah, he just smudged the paper with it. But that color. It's just like the rain clouds I used to watch roll into the harbor. Then I go here, then here. Hey, look what I found. The latest jazz record. Come over tonight, will you? This record's sure to get your toes tapping. What a coincidence. I just got a record too. We can play them one after the other, see which is best. Jazz? That rhythmless slop? Hey, hang on. Don't you be dissing jazz. Not around in Louisiana, man. Is that what they're calling art now? Back in the army, we listened to rousing marches. Stuff that really got your blood pumping and your feet moving. Times have changed, Mr. Mueller. Today's music is about loosening up and letting your body move freely. Move freely? I was like that back then too. Every Saturday night, me and the old gang would put on a record, and as soon as the record started spinning, we'd be stomping our feet to the beat. And we wouldn't stop until the needle reached the last note. And finally, the train station. Extra, extra! Humans conquer the sky with mechanical wings. The future beckons to us from the clouds. Mechanical wings? No, those killing machines. I've seen them dart from the sky. Fire blazing. Watch your steps, sir. Don't trip over that pile of luggage. I understand. But perhaps those iron birds don't only come to drop shadows. Perhaps, this time, they're here to bring people closer together. The start of commercial airplanes? Oh, where are we going now? Oh boy. Geez, giving me 4 options without any kind of clue where I should go. I guess we can go to Amsterdam. Miss Necrologist, we're headed to a city in the far east. Oh. Thank you again, Miss Necrologist. Okay, wait. What if I pick the other ones? These are just the wrong answers. What's the point of giving me those options then if I can't pick them anyways? Present ticket. The old and the new. Street at night. St. Petersburg's noise rivals Berlin, but the winds here are far sharper. This is where the new world clashes with the old order, with no middle ground. Though the city bustles with activity, none of it is what Mueller had expected. We've arrived. This is St. Petersburg. Let's walk around. Following the flow of the crowd, Necrologist eventually finds herself near a factory, though it seems there isn't any work going on. Instead, crowds of people stand together engaged in a heated discussion. At the arrival of Necrologist, their faces change. Some look at her with fear and others anger. Oh boy, what are you doing here, young lady? I didn't mean to disturb you. She holds up the tombstone box in her hand and offers a brief explanation. Ah, I see. You are here for the dead. Unfortunately, this is no time to be visiting Petrograd. Our strike is about to begin. For your safety, I suggest you leave quickly. Or join us. A strike? Then the war is over? Not yet, but it's only a matter of time. If the Germans signed the agreement, we should have ended this damn war. We're all waiting. And that moment will be worth the finest bottle of vodka. What's this agreement? That famous signing in the railway carriage seems to have been rewritten by Manus Vindicte. Oh shoot. But right now, none of that matters more than the march. A new age is coming. His eyes gleam with longing. Thanks to your decision, you've grown more determined. From inside the box comes a dull, heavy thud, again and again. The stone smashes itself against the glass until the pane shatters. Mr. Mueller, you... Did we lose? He cries in disbelief. How could we lose? How could we possibly lose? This was our war. My comrades. Their sacrifice. Their blood. Did it mean nothing? Why doesn't it all lead to victory? I mean, the other side also sacrificed. Not like yours is any more special. Mr. Mueller, the war is ending. That is a good thing. The tombstone slumps against the edge of the box, his cracks spreading wider, moss creeping deep inside. He calls out to Smith, but his voice is like a spent shell, hollow and powerless. No, never! We lost and you are the victor. Now you can mock me all you want. For yourself, for your country, I'm no victor. The other tombstone trembles in reply. Now Necrologist understands why this soldier with such unshakable will could never find rest. Perhaps the tragedy was decided from the very start of the war. This was never your war. You're no longer a soldier, Mr. Mueller. Your duty is already done. Whoa. Reached the port right at 1600. Factory. Come take a look. Craftsmanship passed down across generations. Metals made from silver spoons, hardy and dignified. Care for one? Better hurry though, the strike's about to start. I won't be here come tomorrow. Metals made from silver spoons. What was once a show of tableside pride, reduced to a mere trinket on the chest. See, these big shots are grinning at me from their metals. But that will have no influence on something. Ah, I reset to see the dialogue again, but when I went to the factory it didn't pop up. Okay, next up the library. Damn piece of scrap metal. It's like a paper-eating monster. My old dip pen never gave me this trouble. Ha! Another poor sod tripped up by a new toy. What did I tell you? Mr. Mueller, your grudge against new toys is even more stubborn than this machine that keeps breaking down. Times are changing. How we record words is changing too. Ah, there it is. What we need should be on the fourth shelf from the top. What are you getting? Don't be fooled by how few are left now. Back then, the whole garden was full of roses. Oh, the scent that drifted across the river. But right now, filling our stomachs is what matters. In wartime, what use are roses really? Mr. Mueller, for the people here, roses aren't just flowers. They're a source of hope. They keep them alive. If roses wither, I wouldn't be surprised if their hearts withered along with them. And now to the port. Scapa Flow. Peace. On the ship, morning. The journey from St. Petersburg to the English coast is no short voyage. Passengers sway with the swelling waves. Mr. Smith, you seem down. Haven't you found your gray monster here? Countless ships patrol the waters. Steel beasts embodying the pride of the Royal Navy. The hopes of the people, the work of thousands of hands. I remember now. The gray monster. It was the greatest ship of them all. I tightened its bolts, painted its hull, checked its instruments. Every day, every night. His broken stone fills with surging memory. His voice fevered like a shot of adrenaline. I want to see it again. Just see it? Is there nothing else you need? Not a farewell ritual? A chance to meet old friends? I would have thought this meant much more to you. That's for the great men to arrange. A ship that size won't stop for a single loose rivet. It has bigger missions. We never had a say. It gestures faintly towards Mueller's silent stone, but the soldier is already at rest. We were just ordinary men. Now we're just ordinary tombstones. No different from stones on the roadside. Everyone is unique. Even as tombstones, I can tell you apart. The aura you carry, the uneven edges, the size of your cracks, they all bear your mark. Thank you, Mr. Necrologist. But it doesn't matter anymore. If you can, place me in the lighthouse closest to the harbor. One day I'll see it again, setting out or returning. His tone brims with hope. The Dreadnought, a great vessel built in the royal shipyard. Majestic, colossal, the very symbol of domination at sea. He waits, forever waits for the ship in his memory. In silence, he sinks into eternal peace. Mr. Smith, I think I know what I must do. Library morning. For the first time, she breaks a promise to the dead. Behind her, the bookseller eyes her with suspicion. You've examined every newspaper that mentions the Dreadnought. Miss, what exactly are you looking for? You're not some enemy spy, are you? No need, sir. I've already found it. Unfold newspaper. The Dreadnought was struck by torpedoes on the starboard side and tragically sank. Seas too rough for rescue. Oh, 35 officers and 512 sailors lost. Now a graveyard beneath the waves. German actions condemned. We vow revenge. In the crew list, she finds Smith's name. She gently wraps his tombstone in the old newspaper, not placing him in any lighthouse as he had wished. Aw. There's more, and we're going back to Liechtenstein. The museum. Stripped of their grand words, the steadfast soldier finally raised his hands in surrender. The ordinary sailor never escaped the shadow of a sinking ship, even after memory failed him. In war, everyone becomes a number, a forever silent tombstone. In front of the Fleck Tombstone Museum. New package, Fleck family. Thank you, Mark. Oh, she knows the postman by name. Honestly, I don't even want to know what's inside these packages. But didn't you announce you were closing down? Not permanently. I only needed time to think. These tombstones, these lingering souls, I once treated them as vessels for the regrets of the dead, as ghosts tainted with strangeness and impurity. But perhaps the truth is not so simple. You don't mean those tombstones, do you? You mean I've been carrying those things all this time? Before the mistress can reply, the postman bolts, fleeing this uncanny place without another word. The story takes a different turn due to your choice, so this is where things branch. Mueller and Smith stood opposed from beginning to end. I couldn't reconcile them, nor even grant either man his final wish. They learned the truth but sank into even greater regret, bound to eternal sleep. Should I really say that their spirits are gone? Were they ever truly there? As tombstones, they could no longer act. Perhaps there is something I can do for them. For those swept up in this war, pulled forward unwillingly by its momentum. She opens the heavy doors and gazes gently upon the tombstones within. What is the true meaning of this museum? To remember the regrets of the dead? Or to hold hope for the living? The small insights discovered along the way bring her closer to the answers she seeks. Even so, I will always honor their final wishes, watching over and protecting each forgotten tombstone. The end. And we get this nice little art. Okay, that actually wasn't much longer than my usual recording sessions. Or at least the time I aim for in my usual recording sessions. In any case, we're gonna try to get a different ending. See if we can get one that's a little better. I should have taken note of when the choices appear. Okay, talk with Mr. Mueller. Smith's tombstone is in a terrible state, and the spirit dwelling seems positively haggard. Given Mr. Smith's current state, I think we'd better return to your commission for now, Mr. Mueller. Your wish, your unfinished regret, what is it? The tombstone pauses. I appreciate your earnestness, Miss Necrologist, but I doubt you can fulfill my regret. I had a zeal beyond words, designs of impossible grandeur, to make my country's might supreme no matter the sacrifice. But I fell on the battlefield. I died in the war that would end all wars, having won neither honor nor glory for my nation. Dust and grit flakes off as he speaks. The grinding sound drowns out Smith's lonely murmurs. Miss Necrologist, what year is it now? 1920, Mr. Mueller. The impassioned tombstone has no knowledge of the new timeline he has been carried into by the storm. Oh. Necrologist has passed through many ages, bringing peace to the spirits within these tombstones. 1920, Smith asks, shivering at the sound of the words. Is it still there? The sea monster, the really big one. Mr. Smith, is there something that bears on your mind? Could it be that your life's regret has something to do with this creature? Yes, it was huge and gray. Enough of your babbling, Englishman, Mueller interrupts. 1920. Then is the Great War over? I must be returned to my home. I was meant to be laid there in honor. The weeping spirit is cowed by Mueller's outburst, going silent once more. Necrologist immediately surmises the best path forward. If she wishes to bring peace to this fallen soldier, she must go to Mueller's homeland. And a skilled mediator always knows when to steer the topic. As you wish, Mr. Mueller. Thanks to your decision, you've grown more determined. Okay, this time we're gonna stay in Berlin. Upon taking a step, Smith was struck by a strong sensation. Mueller felt it as well. Maybe this is the perfect opportunity to discover the wishes the dead ones had. So this is the street you're so proud of, Mr. Mueller? Yes, this street boasts Germany's finest tailor shop. Nobles and dignitaries came from all over, and it was the pride of the entire city. Of course, including him when he was alive. Opera singers claimed they would wear their gowns to perform at the Moulin Rouge. In Rome, in Milan, in Warsaw, every hall of victory. It was the calling card of Berlin. Turn that corner and you'll see it, the most elegant of them all. Just as Mueller said, the finest tailor shop stands at the corner, but its doors are shut tight, and its golden sign lies beneath a delicate film of dust. Let's knock. Hello? Is anyone there? She raps gently at the door. The hurried footsteps outside pass by. The locked door stays silent. At last, the neighbor takes notice. Don't bother knocking, they've been gone a long time. No, impossible! They'd never leave. He denies it desperately. Do you know when they left? Sometime after this war started, that's all I know. One day, soldiers came to the shop, drove out everyone inside except for the couple who owned it. Then they were dragged away. No idea what became of them. Sir, do you know where they were taken? No, it can't be. They were our pride. Berlin's pride. How could they have been arrested? But his frantic words reach only Necrologist's ears. Who knows? Maybe like the others, they were packed onto trains, trucks, or ships, sent off to some godforsaken place. Oh, thank you, sir. The tailor's neighbor waves a hand and slams the door shut. Due to your decision, you've grown more confused. Okay, back in St. Petersburg, let's ask around. Necrologist stops a hurried, wary-looking man. Hello, excuse me. Is this St. Petersburg? Of course this is St. Petersburg, but I can see you must not be from around here. Indeed I'm not, sir. You should not have come. There's supposed to be a strike throughout the city. For your safety, I suggest you leave quickly. A strike? Then the war is over? Not yet, but it's only a matter of time, and that makes me more confused. I'm not sure if my branches are changing. Okay, I went back through, I made all the decisions that left Necrologist confused. Let's see if anything changes or if I'm locked into my initial branch. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm gonna have to look up the other endings. Is there really no way to reset this? I really hope this doesn't become the standard for anecdotes. Like, this was interesting, but I still prefer the usual way. Like, you just click on a story thing and then start it, and it's presented like this. More like a typical visual novel. And we didn't even get the splash art. Like in the other ones, the art they make for it, you see it in the cutscenes. In this, we only got it in the review. Maybe I'm missing something. I find it odd that it actually wouldn't let me explore the other branches. Specifically of the ending, I mean. Because I can explore the other dialogue options, but it doesn't let me see how that changes the ending. Not a fan. Really not a fan. This was an interesting shakeup to the formula, but one I would rather not see again. Maybe I'll be able to see the other branches after it's permanently added. Overall, I'd say I'm unsatisfied, but I am someone who likes exploring every possible branch, even if the differences are only minor, and I feel like I didn't get to know Necrologist as well as I was hoping. If they improve this formula or go back to the old one, I might be willing to do one of these again. I might even read through some of the old anecdotes on a whim. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future videos, and remember to leave a like while you're at it. Hope you have a great day. Cue the outro.